Hello and good evening. How are we doing, people? It is We Have Fun F1 Tier 1's race around Japan this evening. I am your commentator for this evening. My name is Taz. I do go by the name of the commentator on Twitch. But how we all doing this evening, people? Hope everybody is well. Hope I can do some justice here with the commentary this evening. So let's just dive straight into things and have a look at the Drivers' Championship. What you see up on your screen at this moment in time, it'll kind of give us a clue in regards to what happened in the first race of the season. I did have to miss that due to real world events, but as I can't see the lower ones, I will just jump on and let's have a look. So, Cookie, the man, the legend here at We Have Fun F1 with the most wins. I think it's 22 wins in his career here at We Have Fun F1 that he's managed to stack up over his time here. So he did take the race win in the first race for Red Bull. There was a reserve in at P2 with Niall. I think that's Niall. In P3 was Star. In P4 was Payox King. In P5 was Rio Harris. Kevin Cal was P6. JKEB was in at 7. Arrow was in at 8. JG in at 9. Ty in at 10. Michael in at 11. Echo 12. Ollie was in at 13. Codzilla 14. Aaron was in at 15. Mallard in at 16. Oven Chips in at 17. Himmy in 18, Stellan in at 19, and we had Lime in at P20. So it looks like it was a decent race. They're going to be the kind of the guys that I'm going to be watching and looking for here this evening in qualifying in regards to the stands. There's only, I think, one person that I have actually done comms on before, which I think is Kevin. So hopefully we can, get to know a few of the drivers and have a great season here. We'll move over to the constructors. And as you can see, Red Bull obviously taking the lead in the first race with the Constructors' Championship, picking up the most points in the Constructors. And then you have Kick Sauber managed to come away with P2, Alpine P3, Ferrari P4, Haas in at P5, Williams with P6, McLaren in at P7, Mercedes 8, VCARB are in at 9, and Aston Martin down in the bottom positions. So, yeah, we are at Japan. It is the Suzuka track this evening. We've already got somebody in the chat. That's Brian. Good evening, Brian. Hope you're well. And, yeah, let's go for some Suzuka. And let's get into a little bit of info around the circuit here this evening. So the first Grand Prix was held back in 1987, and that is a golden year, the year that I was born. Track length is 5.807 kilometers. The lap record is held by Sir Lewis Hamilton. It was set back in 2019 in the Mercedes. It's a 1 minute 30.983. Most pole positions at the circuit is Michael Schumacher, with Michael Schumacher also taking the most wins, the GOAT, picking up all the records here at the circuit, apart from the lap record. Pole run to turn one breaking point is 277 meters. The safety car probability around 67%. Is quite a wide circuit, so you tend not to get them. It takes a big moment to bring out that safety car. Virtual safety car probability around 50%. The pit stop time loss here at the circuit is 22.7 seconds, and that is including a 2.5 second stationary stop. So yeah, we should be getting going soon. Very, very soon here on the channel. I'll just get onto the game so I can await my invite, and we'll hopefully get into the lobby. But yeah, just great to be here on my debut this evening. Should have been last week, but as I said, yeah, some things came up. If you do enjoy F1 as a whole, and F1 racing, league racing especially, I do have my own channel. We go live. I'm live pretty much all week, around 8 p.m. most days. I think it's Friday is only the difference in time, which is a 7 o'clock start there. But yeah, if you're ever got any spare time, I am always doing comms, so make sure you jump on and come and say hello. But hopefully we've got a few people from my community coming in, saying hello soon. We've got 7 people in the chat. Don't be scared to say hi. I don't bite. But yeah, should be a good race this evening. The Suzuka Circuit that is the only figure of 8 track on the F1 calendar. It's got 18 corners with only 1 DRS zone. You have the sector 1, the snake sector of the track in turns. I think it's like 3, 4, 5, and 6. And yeah, it's a very, very tricky part of the track. That easy to lose traction going through some of them left-handers, especially the one that goes uphill. That is a very, very difficult part of the track. But yeah, hopefully we've got an invite off one of the lads, and hopefully we can get in. But yeah, hopefully we can get into it. But how are we all doing this evening, people? Last day of the weekend. Work tomorrow. If you're around my age. If not, you've got 6 weeks off to chill and relax. And maybe find that little bit of extra pace on the game, putting in them hours. Yeah, but we've had some, I've had some fun doing comms. And hopefully you enjoy the comms here this evening on the channel. Okay. I didn't know we were getting alerts like that. Redeem Pedro. That actually came through my headset then as well. I didn't expect that at all. But thank you for redeeming that 1,000 there. Shitting me right up. Oh, God. Yeah, that was a bit scary there. I won't lie. But yeah, Suzuka, a good track. And hopefully we get some good racing here this evening. As I said, Cookie has been quite dominant in the lead, picking up 22 race wins, which is the record. But last season, Arrow took the win here at the Japan's Suzuka. And, you know, can he go again? We was having a chat earlier on. And, you know, there is a big difference between controller and pad players. Controller does have a disadvantage in the dry weather, whereas in wet weather you would say it has the better conditions overall. Tried to get some hype, sadly I won't be racing tonight, but hopefully back next week. Great to see you back. I find a wild Taz on Twitch. How are we doing, Ash? How's it going, mate? Hope you're well. Hope you're ready for this one this evening. I think you got. Are you not racing tonight? You should be racing. But yeah, I still ain't got an invite, so Arrow, if you are watching along, please get me added and get me an invite into this lobby. We ain't got long to go. Just coming to show some love. Oh, Ash, you're an absolute legend. Cheers, brother. Means a lot. Means an awful lot to see some of my community following me over here and showing the love and support on my debut. So thank you very much, Ash. Very much appreciated. But yeah, I don't think Arrow's watching along. We still haven't got an invite into the lobby as of yet, so I don't know whether we're going to be actually getting into this lobby. I'll try and give him a message in the chat now, see if we can get in. So hopefully that should be us getting into the lobby. In qualifying, we will have the camera up during quali, but once we get into the race, then there'll be no more of this, which I'm sure you'll all be pleased with. A bit, one less distraction in the race. You can keep your eye all over the racing. Yeah, I think it's me and Kev waiting for the invites at the minute at this moment in time. Just waiting to get into the lobby. What's Ash saying? Only because you bribed me. Yeah, man, of course. You said I've got to watch, otherwise you're sending me back to the adoption. Exactly, mate. Them papers will be ripped up in your face. And you will be you'll be sent back to that home. Oh, but yeah, really excited for this one. whole new caliber of drivers here this evening that I'll be able to have a look at, see who's got the pace. It is kind of track dependent. We know Cookie obviously won the first race of the season, but is he going to have any luck here at Japan this evening? As we said earlier on, Arrow, you know, hopefully he's in with a chance. Some wet weather could bring the race his way, maybe pick up a podium. But like a lot of people who are on controller, they're really suffering against the wheel drivers. It's not kind of like it's not kind of catered to wheel, but in that dry conditions, they can just hold on to the tires a lot more. I've seen some very, very quick drivers going up on pad, going up against wheel drivers, and they have to use so much of their ERS just to stay within the DRS range. It's kind of an unfair battle, and they have that like extra laps worth of tires. So yeah, but then in the rain, obviously it switches. Controller does have a lot more purchase on the circuit, so I mean it does kind of balance itself out, because I don't know if anybody else has noticed it like me, but there does seem to be a very varied mixture of weather conditions now on the F125 game. You can definitely, it's not it. I think on 24, a lot of people, when they were racing, they pretty much knew it was going to be a dry race. I think in every league that I covered, I mean, I was pretty much begging for rain, because it was just the same thing week in, week out. Dry conditions, dry conditions, dry conditions. But since I've been doing, like, since the F125 games come out, and we've been doing comms in their multiple leagues once again, like, noticing that there's a big change in the weather conditions, a great mixture of it. So we have fun. You better treat this man with kindness. He's top tier. Oh, Ash, you legend. Thank you so much for your kind comments. Can you just let me know on the audio? Can you actually hear the game in the background? Just like while I'm not talking. I mean, obviously we'll find a bit more out in qualifying, but still no invite. Like, come on, lads. If anything, you need your commentator in. I don't think... I'm not sure EA... Hopefully we'll get in and we can switch over to the lobby and join qualifying. But it seems to be like this is the kind of case with a lot of leagues. Like, they say 8 o'clock, but you can guarantee not one of them goes bang on 8 o'clock. Well, some might, like the big esports places and stuff like that. They'll be definitely like regimented. But a lot of leagues seem to go a bit later than the 8 o'clock actually advertised. And there we go. As Arrow gives me the invite there. Well, friend request. Everybody's giving me the friend request. Bang. Right, them are accepted. Now let's wait for everybody's sending the invite. Bossman Cookie with the invite there. The man who's been very dominant, as I said earlier on, in the division. As Chocolate Chip Cookie has sent me the invite. Absolute legend there from Cookie. And I'm going to try and get everybody added before we get going here. Right, we've got Young Kimmy. Apparently we've got Gordon, we've got Kev. Sorry if I'm just locked in a second, people. I have to get everybody added, so just in case anybody desyncs from the lobby. So I'm just making sure everybody gets that friend request. I think there's 17 drivers ready to race here this evening for that victory. I mean, going off the history of it, there's kind of 2 guys we're kind of keeping an eye on so far. And that'd be Arrow and Cookie, Chocolate Chip Cookie. So let's see what they can do. So all the friend requests have gone out. Let's hope they all admit and we can get into qualifying very, very soon. Was that what happened last week, Brian? A battle between them two. Are they the guys that I've got to kind of keep my eye on? Hopefully they have a good scrap again. Well, not a scrap, but a battle on track. $16, so just waiting for two more drivers. Sorry, I was a spectator. There's two more lads are waiting for in the lobby, and then we'll get going. Yeah, they were constantly within a second of each other. Well, let's hope that they can continue it on here this evening with some more great battling, something for us to watch and be excited about. Oh, hello there. We've got another follower, and that is, I can't really see, it is William. Thank you very, very much for the follow, sir. Yeah, William 1871. Thank you very much. On behalf of We Have Fun F1 for the follow. Hopefully you will enjoy the comms this evening. Countdown is on to qualifying. If you're new to league racing, short qualifying consists of 18 minutes of the lads trying to get the quickest lap for that pole position start in the race. And the race will consist of 27 laps, which is a 50% race around the Suzuka circuit here this evening. So we're moving into quali. And let's go. Who's going to get that fastest time? Who's going to be put on the top? Is Cookie going to show his quality here this evening? Or is somebody else going to look to take the crown? Arrow does have the crown for the race winner here for last season. Can he go back to back, or is someone going to walk away the king of Suzuka here this evening? Let's hope we get the battle we so deserve on circuit. But yeah, qualifying underway now. Weather conditions looking very nice on the circuit so far. Can see a bit of cloud hovering over, but I don't think that's going to play a part in qualifying. Be great to know if any of the lads are in the chat. If they are, could you please give me a weather update for the main race? That'd be very much appreciated. But if not, we'll just have to wait and see what the race does bring. We've already got action in the pit lane. So here we go. There is a Ferrari out on circuit. Let's have a look at Young Himi. Young Himi, first out on track. Can he do well here at the Suzuka circuit? He will be setting the standard. We'll see what kind of lap time he does put in as he makes his way through the snake section of the circuit there. Now he is approaching the end of Sector 1. Very fast double the right hand of this. You can take a lot of pace through this corner. Got then some hard braking into this one. Get the rotation. Get the power down early and run it up the hill into the hairpin. But a lot of drivers out on the circuit now. Cookie still in the pit lane. Arrow's out. Mallard, he's out. Aaron's out. Oven Chips is out. Ty's out. Kevin Cowell's out on the circuit. Gokhan also out on the circuit in the McLaren. There's only a couple of people in the pit lane. Just Aaron and Chocolate Chip Cookie and Codzilla. Another name that rings a bell. I think I have done comms on Codzilla before now. But here comes Young Himi into the final few corners. get a good exit here to carry that speed down on the run to turn 1. Here we go. First lap for qualifying underway. And it is the Ferrari of Young Himi. Got to throw this car right into turn 1. Have no fear. Hope it sticks. Light braking. Get the rotation in. Head into the snake section of the track. That uphill left there. You catch that curb on that inside left. You are a goner. This one, a bit of a tricky traction zone with it going uphill. I'm not the greatest driver, and I'm probably going on about my standards here, but yeah. I've lost the channel for some weird reason. Just let me get by. But he's doing well so far. No invalidation from Himi. As it runs down to the spoon curve. 10 people watching along. How are we all doing, people? Hope you're ready for qualifying here at Suzuka. We have fun. F1's Tier 1 drivers looking to dominate the circuit. But Young Himi heading into the final few corners of the track. Is it a lap that'll see him stay up in the top 5 for now? I mean, he'll take pole with this, but obviously we've got drivers crossing the line. Here he comes. It's a 128.460 for Young Himi. Let's have a look at Arrow. He's the other favorite driver as Oven Chips with a 127.990. Beating Young Himi there by over, well, yeah, a half a second. He has taken provisional pole away from him with. As Ollie comes across the line in the Mercedes with a 130.980. We've just seen Gordon in the other Haas jump up into P2 of 128.069. I'm sure that's a lot of people's favourite number. But here we go with Arrow as he makes his way through the final corner. It's up to the line. What's it going to be for Arrow? It's a 128.019. Puts himself in at P2. Let's have a look at the main man here. He's just started a lap. It's Cookie. Has he got the pace to take provisional pole with this first lap here? Looks like he may have ran a bit wide on the exit of turn 2 there, but could carry a lot of pace up into the snake section of the track now. But here he comes. He's got a Mercedes in front of him. That Mercedes needs to get out of the way. No, the last thing Cookie needs here is dirty air on the lap, and that Mercedes being so close could be actually affecting his lap time here as he goes through the corner. Could be picking up some dirty air, Cookie here, and then we see the Mercedes driver dive out the way, freeing the Red Bull driver up to finish his lap here as he heads into the hairpin. And now sees himself running down to spoon curve. Gokhan with a 127.450 jumps in up into provisional pole by half a second there. Great lap from Gokhan. But here we go. We're still on board with Cookie. Has he done enough? It's a 110.208 for the Sector 2-3 split. Only a couple of corners in Sector 3. Here he comes, the Red Bull driver. Into the chicane. Now it's going to be power down. Round the final corner. May have rid the curb just a little too much there. Up to the line. And it is P2 with a 127.513. Cookie in the Red Bull has been outdriven here on the first lot of laps by Gokhan. Can we see anybody else try and match that lap? We'll jump on with Ty in the Williams. Can he knock Gokhan off the top? Remember, the Sector 2-3 split from Chocolate Chip Cookie was a 110. So he needs to be in and around the tie. And I think he may have actually backed out of the lap here. Yeah, it looks like he has. He's letting the McLaren through there, who I think is on the way back into the pits anyway. So we'll jump down to the kick Sauber of Codzilla. Codzilla starting the lap here, going through turn 1. Now into the snake section of Sector 1. Took sector, looking like he's doing very well in sector 1. No invalidations, which has been good to see so far from some of the drivers. Ran well too wide there on the exit. Touching the grass. That is definitely a driver backing out of his lap. So we'll jump on board with the other Red Bull. Can he get near his teammate as Kevin Cal starts his first banker lap here this evening with just 10 minutes to go here in qualifying. I'm going to see drivers try and save a set of softs. I don't know how good the softs are around the circuit. It is quite a long one, so I bet they're not that good. So we could possibly see, with a lot of the circuits now, even in 50% races, it's a 2-stop. There is some circuits where you can make the 1-stop work, but the 2-stop can be a lot quicker strategy. So, I mean, you could potentially use all your soft compounder tyres and just go for the medium hards in the race. But Kevin Cal now making his way up to Spoon Curve. Got to get a good exit and then a good run down to that sector 2-3 split. Remember, chocolate chip cookie is a 110. He needs to be in and around there. If he wants to be challenging up at the top, it's a 111.070 for Kevin Cal. Here he comes up to the final 3 corners. Power down on the exit. Here he comes up to the start finishing line. And for Kevin Cal, it's a 128.470. Kevin puts himself in at P8. We'll jump on board with Aaron in the V-cab, as we'll have a look at Golkan after this one. Currently making his way up to the Spoon Curve. See if he can improve on the lap. Oven Chips in the Haas as well. In at P3. We'll have to try and keep an eye on these guys as they get on their laps. Try and see if they're making any sort of improvements. Cookie now out on the circuit. He's just going through the snake section of the track. Aaron a 32.453 for sector 1 there. Kicks Albert. Ooh, nearly loses it in the background there. I think that may have been, yeah, it's Star. So Star was actually on a lap. That could definitely be him backing out of that one. He's lost so much time there through doing that bad exit. And the car stepping out everywhere. I think we've got a bit of lag here from Aaron. See the car just juttering about a bit. So I think that's, yeah, it's got to be our Cookie that. Just getting out of the way of the drivers. But here comes Aaron. He's into the final few corners. Last corner for the V-cab driver. What's it going to be? It's very wide on the run down to the start finishing line. Needed to tuck in a bit. Maybe it would have gained a bit of extra time there. But it's a 129.446 in at P10. Let's have a look at Golkan. Is he improving? He's invalidated. So let's drop back to Oven Chips. Keep an eye on the sector 2-3 split from Oven. Looks like he's going quite slow here, to be fair. Maybe on a recharge. You can see the battery flashing. And there seems to be a lot of lag. You see the lagging here, the glitching about. Yeah, so I think Oven Chips has definitely gone for a recharge here. You can see him weaving to get the temperature up in them tyres. So let's have a look at Cookie. Oh my god. He's up by 0.6 in sector 1. Is that true though? We'll have to wait and see. As he makes his way up to Spoon Curve, the Red Bull driver could be on for one hell of a lap here. Wow, this is some lag that we're witnessing here on the stream. Here he comes on the rundown to the sector 2-3 split. As Cookie improved even more. And Cookie is up by 7.5 tenths here. This is going to be provisional pole by some margin from the Red Bull driver as he makes his way up to the final few corners. And that's a big mistake. Hit the curb too hard there. They lost some time on that corner 100%, but it's up to the line, and it's a 26.797 from Cookie, and that is going to take some beating. DOWG Snoop Dogg. Thug Life 100%. The Cookie absolutely cooking on that lap. A 26.797 from the Red Bull driver. That is some improvement. Let's drop down to the Alpine driver, who's currently in at P5. He's on an out lap. Let's see if he can prove. Let's just quickly. Codzilla's just going to come across the line. Let's see what Codzilla's doing. It's an 11.959 for the Sector 2-3 split. Now it's a 129.665. Kevin Cal puts himself, Codzilla, sorry, puts himself in at P12. Oven Chips has gone for it again. He's into the pit lane. So let's drop back to the Alpine driver in P5, looking to improve. If he can get at least 0.2 improvement, he could see himself up in the top 3. If he wants to be contending with the man who's sat in P2, if he wants to try and go for chocolate chip cookie, he's got to find big improvements on the lap. 1.3 seconds. I mean, that's a lot of time to find on Suzuka to try and challenge for P1. Has he got it? Has he got enough to challenge for P2 at this moment in time? That is more the question, because that lap time from Cookie is absolutely brilliant, and that's got to be an ego retirement from Cookie there. He's definitely happy with that one. I think he's saying to himself, I'm very safe there. That's a very good lap time. But here he comes, the Alpine driver on the run down to turn 1, looking to improve on a current 128.026. He's got to get the sectors hooked up. It's a lot of lag here. A lot of lag. I don't know. It's got to be the connection to the lobby. The Alpine driver, though, keeping it clean so far. He's up nearly 0.4 in Sector 1. That's a great Sector 1 from, I'm going to say Jake. Jake B. Can he find him more improvements in Sectors 2 and 3? Oven Chips was in the pit lane, and he's straight back out on the circuit looking to improve on his current lap time of a 127.990. That camera's kind of bang on right in the right place for quali. As you can see, all the drivers and all the times. If this was a full quali, and he's up by 7 tenths now. He's found 4 tenths in Sector 2. How much more time can he find in these final few corners? Here he comes, Jake B in the Alpine. It's up to the final corner. Here he comes riding through it. It's through up to the start finishing line. It's a 27.220. I tell you what, he had a good crack at it trying to get close to Cookie, but he does take P2 in that Alpine, and that was great improvements from the Alpine driver, putting that lap into P2. I mean, Goldcam with his banker lap, going off his banker lap, he definitely could beat that, but can he hook the lap together? Is he going to be able to get close to Chocolate? He beat Chocolate first time out. Can he beat him now with this lap? Not much time to go in qualifying. Just under 2 minutes left of the session. And we'll be seeing a lot of cars hitting the circuit, apart from the main man who sat in P1 with a 26.797. Everybody trying to go quicker than that, trying to snatch pole position away from Cookie. But I think he's got a lot of confidence in that lap to be retiring so early. Mind you, I think his car's in the pit lane. He probably could have gone, definitely gone again, 100%. As we've got 12 people watching along. How are we all doing, people? Hope you are well. If you're new to the channel, obviously, I am a new commentator here. Go by the name of Taz, but on Twitch, I am the commentator. But here we go. We're on board with the McLaren of Gokhan. He set the standard on his first lap. Can he go quicker than Cookie? He's got 0.7 of a second to find in sectors 1, 2, and 3. Is this man good enough to do it? Can the McLaren driver dethrone the Red Bull of pole position for the race? Keep an eye on the sector 1-2 split as it's coming up now. We'll see if there's any improvements in sector 1. And there is. There's over a 2.5 tenth improvement through sector 1. That puts him back into P2. We've just seen a Williams driver of Ty go into P4 there with a 127.988. Going quicker than the Haas driver of Oven Chips. But the McLaren driver now making his way down to the spoon curve. His teammate not too far in front of him. Down in P15, Jamie. Hopefully Jamie can improve on that 131. But here he comes, Gokhan. Watch for the split. He's up by half a second. He's got to find at least 2 tenths in these final few corners if he wants to get anywhere near Cookie. Has he got the skill? Here comes the McLaren driver. He's in to the final corner. It's going to be up to the line. What's it going to be? As he crosses the line, it's a 127.155. He actually lost time in that final few corners there. Still holds on to P2. Has anybody got a lap? Let's have a look at Arrow. Where did Arrow disappear to? Here he is. He's down in sector 2. Is this lap going to be abandoned from the Ferrari driver? Let's watch for the sector 2-3 split as he makes his way towards it. And still no improvement on the lap. It's going to be all down to the final few corners here for Arrow. Can he make any improvements? Can he get up into that top 5 as he makes his way through the final corner? And it's up to the line for Arrow. And it's a small improvement. Puts him up into P6. Puts him up above his teammate there in qualifying. And they are all set now. And Cookie with one hell of a qualifying here. 4 tenths quicker than his nearest rival. The McLaren driver had a lot of time on the lap of Gokhan, but seemed to lose a lot of time into them final few corners. If he could have just found maybe a bit more, would have been a lot closer, but unfortunately just couldn't do it. So there we have it. Chocolate Chip Cookie in P1. Gokhan's P2. Jake in at P3. Oven Chips is 4. Gordon in at 5. We've got Arrow in at 6. Young Himmy in at 7. Ty in at 8. Star in at 9. Kevin Cal 10. Ollie 11. F1 Mallard in at 12. Aaron in at 13. Codzilla is 14. And Jamie down in P15. Did improve on the lap to a 130.505, but he's a good second off his nearest rival. Hopefully he can get some race pace here and really go for it. We'll move over to the race scene in a minute. But yeah, good qualifying there. Cookie very dominant. As I said, 4 tenth gap to Gokhan, who did lose some time in that final few corners, which really did hinder his lap. But still, it's P2 for the McLaren driver. Hopefully he can try and slow Cookie down by trying to get past him into turn 1. That's going to be the place where if Gokhan can get a good start, he can really try and put Cookie under pressure into turn 1 and hopefully try and take the lead of the race, hold him up a bit, because Cookie's pace is looking pretty decent here in qualifying. That doesn't necessarily mean it transfers over into race pace. It definitely doesn't. For some people, TT or quali can be their home, but you're gonna. This face is going now. Enjoy the race. I will be still doing comms. My voice will be in the background. But yeah. So doesn't look like we're going to get any rain at the circuit here this evening. Very, very blue skies. We've got 27 laps of racing to come your way. And hopefully it's some very, very good racing. Let's hope that the likes of the lads at the back can have a good scrap. Jamie. Let's hope that it was just quali that kind of hindered him. And that he can get the laps together here. DHL signs everywhere. Can't even see the pit lane. Who's in what? But, I mean, how's everybody getting on with the F1 25 game? I know it's a big change for people. Personally, it was a big change for me. I went to Wheel because it was quite clear and evident for me from the get-go that Wheel was kind of the place to be. Especially in dry conditions. You have a massive advantage. But in them wet conditions, Wheel does suffer heavily. Compared to controller, and it's quite sad to see. Like I said, I've done comms now for a while on some very quick people, on lads that have held world records. I've managed to do some cons on a guy who won PSGL's Xbox, which was Luca Rapaza, very, very quick driver, and yeah, it's just great to see that different range of people. Over the time, and Cookie's looking very, very quick. Hopefully, some people in my community see this and try and try and put Cookie under some pressure here. I've got one driver who I think could definitely be a good fit and definitely go for that challenge with Cookie. But we'll see. We'll see within time. But to all other leagues that are racing, obviously their races might have already started, but best of luck. I've got friends racing this evening over in different leagues. So best of luck to everybody that is league racing this evening. But yeah, it's an absolute privilege and an honour. Like, I left the league after so long. I was racing there. I was doing comms there. I haven't raced in a while, to be honest, since I left there. And it really freed up some time for me. And within 5 minutes of me putting that I was kind of a free agent for the weekend, I was only surrendering 2 of my days. There was only, do you know what I mean? Like, I do Friday and Sunday. I have Saturday free, where I do my own kind of thing and do some 5-lappers. But it's been really humbling to see the amount of people just reaching out, saying you're doing a good job, like any chance you can do comms for us, and it's like sorry, no, unfortunately I can't. I've people got there first. I think it was actually Arrow himself that reached out to me to do comms once I joined. Like, there was Revolution and thingy, but we'll talk about that after, as we're getting all the lights going out here. 5 red lights. And Tier 1 here at We Have Fun F1 gets underway at Suzuka, and it looks like Cookie gets a good start off the line, but so does Gokhan. Gokhan trying to go for it into Turn 1, and he looks like he's getting the lead, but Cookie's going all the way around the outside. Gokhan leaves the space on the inside. Just heard contact in the background there. We've got drivers swapping positions, but Gokhan hits the rear of Cookie and loses track time to him there. They really were going at it. You can see Oven Chips. No, not Oven Chips. Gordon trying to defend from Arrow. Arrow trying to sneak down the inside. Already on the Haas team. Oh, was the Haas of Gordon. They're off. There's an Alpine off in front. Jake's dropping positions. Gordon's dropping positions. They're all stacked up at the back now. And Arrow goes sweeping through like an arrow into P4. The Ferrari driver now trying to get in the mix for a potential podium. Cookie's showing strong pace. Gokhan has really tried to close up. Oven Chips though, he is 1.3 seconds back already against the front two. So it could be a battle for P3 here between a few drivers, and a battle for P2 between the top two. Can Gokhan show some good pace here and stay with Cookie? He only has one shot at DRS here, and that is down the main straight as we're coming into it. Won't be activated on this lap, but he has to stay close to Cookie on this lap to get some DRS on the next lap. Oven Chip just hasn't got the pace to close up here. We've got Ollie in the Mercedes. He's right on the back of Ty. He's going down the inside. Here we go, brakes later and gets past the Williams driver with a great move down the inside into turn 1. Taking his shot there, Ollie, and he gets up into P9. Great move from the Mercedes driver. So Codzilla has lost places. Jamie up into P13. Have we got any noticeable damage? We've just seen someone taking a trip on the dirt there. Is that the Ferrari of Young Himi? He's dropping back. I think he may have just squeezed the Williams driver, who's now losing position. And Mallard has taken advantage of it, and so has Kevin Cal, as the Williams driver of Ty tries going back down the inside on the Red Bull. But the Red Bull has the outside line. He'll have the better pace on the run down to the Spoon Curve. And there he goes, Kevin Cal up into P11. And they are scrapping it out here for positions. As we're on board with Jake, he's got Jordan and Star. They're going side by side. Gordon, as Star squeezes his way past the Haas driver there. I think there was a little bit of contact made. As the Mercedes driver of Ollie, he's trying to send it down the inside on the Haas. The Mercedes driver trying to make moves earlier. Bit of contact on the exit. The Ferrari driver now of Young Himi. He's on the grass. And Young Himi could have got past there, but too much power on the exit. Just ran the car wide and put him on the grass. And now you've got Mallard into turn 1, side by side with Young Himi. Young Himi trying to hold on to the position, but Mallard still side by side they go. Up into the snake section. Bit of contact, and that is Mallard through on Young Himi there. It is all happening early on here. Oh no, Oven Chips is in a world of his own. He's kind of just got free air at this moment in time. He's 1.2 seconds adrift of the top 2. And Arrow is nearly 3 seconds adrift. He's being followed by Star. And then Jake in at P6. Lost a position. He is on the hard compounder tyres. Let's have a look at the tyres. So we've got the top 5 on mediums. You've got Jake and Gordon on the hards in at P6 and 7. And then from P8 to P13, it's mediums. And Aaron and Godzilla on the hards in the background. So there are the tyre allocations so far. That will surely change as we move on into this race. You'll see the mediums probably try and take them for as long as they possibly can here. As we've got action up front. It's Star and Arrow. And Star getting past there. I mean, is that kind of... Knowing that there's a DRS zone coming up, I think if I was Star there, I know he had the pace to try to get past, but I would have... I mean, he's got the pace to kind of keep Arrow behind him at this moment in time. Arrow did have a bad exit there and wasn't able to pursue Star as he would have liked. He's just got to stay close now, Arrow. Try and maintain DRS here. Last year's winner of the race currently sat in P5 and looking like he's a long way off a podium. But who knows what will happen here in the race. Things can change in the form of a safety car. But let's have a look, check in with Gokhan and Chocolate Chip. Chocolate Chip Cookie. Gokhan not been able to get close so far. He needs good exits out of sectors 2 and 3. The corners in there. And hopefully he can try and go for the overtake into turn 1 with the aid of the DRS. He's up on the curb. And that's surely going to be a track limit warning from him. He's now got a push with his ERS to stay close to the back of Cookie. But the McLaren driver is doing well, sticking in the DRS, bringing the fight to Cookie. I think on this lap he'll be able to defend once again, Cookie, to be honest. As a couple of bad corners there from Gokhan. He will be squeezing the ERS here. The aid of the DRS. I just don't think it's going to get him close enough. As Star has put in the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:30.250 for Star. The Kick Sauber driver trying to make moves here. He's got onto the back of Oven Chip as well. And he's bringing Arrow with him as we've got Godzilla out of the race. He's DNF'd on lap 5. Keep an eye on this little battle. We'll watch. Keep an eye on Gokhan as well. The times there from them. Gokhan seems to have it in Sector 1. It just seems like Sectors 2 and 3 are the advantage of Chocolate Chip Cookie. He just seems to handle Sectors 2 and 3 a lot sharper than what Gokhan has. But Gokhan doing well. Made a mistake in the spoon curve last time. Maybe due to the dirty air. Let's just keep an eye on the time there. See if he loses any. And he's, you know what? He's done well through spoon this time around. Stayed close to the back of Chocolate Chip. But Star just trying to get the DRS from Oven Chips, who's sat in P3. This could be a nice little battle with these 3 drivers all battling it out for P3. It's very split at the back now. Not much fighting going on a bit further back. Young Himmy trying to get the DRS on Jamie. Jamie's doing really well here. The quali pace is definitely not the same as his race pace, as he has made positions on the lap. And there we see Star overtaking Oven Chips. And now Star, the lead of this train. Lead of this little battle for P3. Long may this battle continue. Gordon and Ollie, the Haas versus the Mercedes. And they seem to have all closed up again. Kevin Cal now got Mallard and Ty with him. Kevin Cal will have to defend from them. F1 Mallard was making moves early. It was very scrappy the first couple of laps there from the drivers. Wasn't able to kind of hold on or maintain any sort of cohesion through the laps. They were making mistakes, causing each other to trip over one another. It's in the hard tyre drivers trying to stay with the mediums but making mistakes, running wide on exits with them cool tyres, which kind of caused, I think, to be honest, I think it was Gordon could have had a bit of an unsafe re-entry when he came back on track onto them hards. He really did stack the grid into that corner. So I won't be surprised if a potential steward's inquiry will be in on that one. But Oven Chips, it's just Star's got some quality pace here. Star, if Star would have started a bit further up, I think we could have seen Star potentially keeping with Gokhan and Chocolate Chip Cookie here. Kick Sauber driver really is trying to push, trying to break into that 4-second gap. But every time they get into the DRS zone, on the lap he is catching them. But then as soon as they hit that DRS zone, he's losing time to them. And it's so, you know, killing when you're seeing yourself gaining on that pack that are in front of you. But they've got DRS and then they drop you by half a second just in that DRS alone. It can be quite soul destroying on the lap, especially when you're pushing and pushing just to try and you know, get in that fight. But all this pushing from Star, could it have destroyed the tyres? As we know on F125, there is a big thing of tyre management. You know, try not to use too much of the tyres too early. And could it really come to like bite Star when the tyres do start to drop off? Could drop off that little bit quicker, and we could see Oven Chip and Arrow potentially back in that little scrap with him. But it is a big thing about tyre wear as well as ERS management now in the game. I've done a number of races where you really have got the top drivers just recharging, and they've still got such strong pace into the lot of the corners that you just can't keep up with them. And sorry about the ads. I don't think you have to subscribe if you want ad-free viewing. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to beg you for them. But if you want the ad-free viewing, chuck a Prime sub if you've got a Prime sub. That's how you'll get your ad-free viewing there. Help the channel out. But, yeah, it's been kind of quiet. Cookie's just had the pace against Gokhan up at the front. Gokhan's really not had any sort of challenge to him. Cookie just seems to have him read knows where to use against him, knows where not to use against him on the race. So the McLaren driver really does need to kind of break this cookie mentally. Try and not force his way through, but almost like force an error from Cookie. Like, have a little look where you usually would. Try and unsettle him into some corners. It's hard to stay close, obviously, in this game with the dirty air, and it becomes a lot more challenging for the driver in behind to try and get close. But Gokhan's been the closest he's been for a while now. Not the greatest bit of corners there, but could there be an overtaking opportunity for the McLaren driver? He's tucked into the slipstream. He's using the DRS. And he just stays tucked in behind Cookie. It doesn't want to go. To me, it doesn't look like he wants to go on the attack. If he can stay with Cookie until the pit stop phase, maybe stay behind him until that latter stage. Try and go for the overtake in the later stages. But the McLaren driver just seems content being in behind the Red Bull at this moment in time. Oven Chip, Arrow is right on the back of him as Star has just broke away. Star is showing some quality pace here. The Kick Sauber driver, I tell you what, this guy needs a safety car. But touch wood, one doesn't happen. But he could make that race, that battle for pole position, a very, very interesting one. He is slowly but surely chipping away, but he needs Gokhan to kind of try and go side by side, maybe for a couple of corners with Cookie, because naturally going side by side it does slow you down because you're trying to leave some space for the other driver, and the only way you can do that is by going slower and being a bit more safety minded through the corners. I mean, you do see drivers that really don't care and they will battle it out going top speed. And I just don't know how they do it. It's absolutely mesmerizing at times to watch some of the league racing that goes on and the battles that you have up at the front. But Gokhan, once again, just with the DRS, not able to get past. And as I said, I don't think he's looking to get past. Just looks content. Sat in behind the Red Bull driver. Ty managing to get past Kevin Cal. He's gone up into P9 now. Looks like Ty didn't have Kevin didn't have the greatest to final couple of corners there, and has definitely paid for it. Turns 17, 18. I think no, turns 16, 17, 18. Only 18 corners here at the circuit. So Arrow and Oven Chip, and then we've got Mallard, who's got Ty and Kevin behind him. Young Himi is trying to stay with him. What happened to Young Himi? Young Himi was doing really well. Has he got some sort of wing damage that's kind of affecting him here? Because he was doing well at the beginning, but just seemed to drop further and further back on the lap. May have been due to contact. Jake, I think he did get damage and has since had to pit. Because Jake was in P5. Let's just check the pit stops, see if he has stopped. And he has, so I think he did go for a new wing change. Did Jake. As Gokhan is actually into the pits now. I think he actually fell out of DRS range, whether he lost the time on the going into the pit lane. But hopefully this could be a good undercut on Cookie this for Gokhan. As Oven Chips and Star also into the pit lane. And now Gokhan coming out behind Young Himi. Now he just... This could really screw Gokhan up, to be honest. Being tucked in behind drivers that are on older tyres really could cost him that position to... Cookie could come out in pretty much clean air, because look, he's being held up here. These two drivers battling it out in front of him, Young Himi and Ollie, and there's been contact between the pair. Young Himi and Ollie have had a moment, and it looks like Young Himi came out the stronger in that one, as he does get past Ollie. Star also choosing to pit. This could hinder him a bit as well, being stuck in behind Ollie. Ollie on old medium tyres. And Star's got to go all the way around the outside if he wants this move. And he does, gets that position. And, I mean, really, Gokhan isn't that far away from Star. And there's contact up at the front. Just more, they just seem to not be able to go side by side. Mallard and Ty coming together. And are we going to see Ty into the pit lane? We're not. He's staying out on the track. We've got Arrow. He's decided to pit. He's in the pit lane. Getting on them fresh, hard compounder tyres. Ollie also in the Mercedes deciding to pit. Chocolate Chip still out on the circuit. Not pitted as of yet. He's going to have some very fast, hard compounder tyres. But Gokhan has managed to get into some free air now past the drivers on old tyres. And I tell you what, Star really hasn't been able to make a move. He's not been able to follow Gokhan through. He's just been stuck in behind drivers on old tyres. And this is really going to affect him as young Himi getting out of the way there. Knowing that his battle isn't with Star. And that's great to see. You know, he knows his battle isn't with Star. He knows Star's got the pace. He knows Star's got the fresh tyres. And he's just letting through. But it has cost him in the pursuit of F1 Mallard, who currently resides in P5. As now, Cookie into the pits. And where is Gokhan? Gokhan on his way down to turns 16, 17 and 18. The Red Bull driver into his pit box for his new hard compounder tyres. And Gokhan coming through the final corner now. And I think the Red Bull driver may come out clear of Gokhan. This is going to be close. And he can see that time in being stuck in traffic has cost him. If he, like, obviously he decided to pit when he pitted. But he kind of pitted at the wrong time. He come out in heavy traffic that if he wouldn't have come out in that traffic and would have had free air, he potentially could have got the lead in front of Cookie. And Cookie doing really well on this opening lap. Gokhan's tyres are at that temperature now. He's got grip and Cookie runs wide off the circuit. He was in the gravel. And now is Gokhan going to look to go down the inside against Cookie. The McLaren driver down the inside. Cookie's got to go all the way around the outside. Oven Chips with a 3-second time penalty. The McLaren and the Red Bull side by side. But Cookie gets the position in front of the McLaren. Gokhan, again, just looking like he's happy to stay settled in behind the Red Bull there. As Ty now picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple track infringements. And there is Star. He can see Gokhan. And that little incident from Chocolate Chip could have really slowed them up. And Star, with the pace that he's got and he's shown so far, he's got a really good chance of getting involved in a podium battle. As he does have DRS, Star does have the fastest lap as well to match it with a 129.667. So that is a really good lap from the Kick Sauber driver. And he just needs to keep putting it together. It looks like he may not have the straight line speed of the guys up at the front. Or he just had a bad turn one there. Because he was within DRS range. But now has dropped back to 1.5 seconds. Come on, Star. He's shown some great pace. Let's hope he can get involved in the battle. Gordon yet to pit. And the guys who have pitted in behind him are catching him. He's on old hard tyres here. And he's still got, I'd say, at least two more laps on these hards before he can really pit and make the mediums work. So Gordon, yeah, he's going to lose. I think he'll come out around where Kev is, to be honest. if he pitted now, but he's not going to pit now. He can't. The strategy won't allow it for him. It'd be too early to go on to the mediums. Even though, I mean, we've seen Cookie take them mediums quite a few laps. So, but he's going to stay out, and I think he knows that at some point on this lap, he's going to have Cookie right on his rear diffuser. But Star, I don't know what's happened to Star. On these hard compounder tyres, he just doesn't seem to be having the same pace as he was showing on the mediums. Showing some really strong pace on the medium compounder tyres, but since he's moved on to the hards, he hasn't really... Since he had DRS, it's not been the greatest outing, but he is slowly starting to chip away again at the time. So hopefully he can get back within DRS range. But Gordon defending out at front. Let's check in on the rest of the drivers. We've got Young Himi, Ty and Ollie all in a battle for P10. We've got Ty and Ollie really trying to stay with Young Himi here. Seen some great moves from some drivers in them early stages. Trying to chance the luck in turn one, on lap 1 and 2, as we see the Mercedes of Ollie there getting all out of shape, and Young Himi is just trying to get onto the back of that Mercedes, who's sat in P9. If he can be scrapping for that another position in the race, and try and bring home some more points for the Ferrari team. Arrow in the Ferrari, currently sat in P5, and he's got 11 seconds to start. And Oven Chips is outside of DRS range now, so Arrow just got to concentrate on himself here. He's in free air, and he's just got to keep concentrated and keep putting these laps together, and he'll walk away with a decent result here. He knows it's not the result he wanted. I'm sure, like all of us, he would have wanted and loved to go for the back-to-back race wins at Japan, as he did win the race last season. But the man, I think, who wasn't there, I don't think Cookie was at the race at Japan last season. And Cookie is cooking up at the front. Gokhan's really struggling to kind of stay within DRS range here. And Cookie just needs a solid lap here, and he'll have Gokhan outside of DRS range. And Star has found some time. So Star's closing up now. Can he close up even more on Gokhan, who's now outside the DRS range of the race leader? Because we know Star's got some pretty good pace. He may have just got the tyres a bit too hot, or the engine a bit too warm. Had to back out. Just get some, nice clean air across the car to try and go on the attack again, as Chocolate Chip Cookie, a 129.547 for the Red Bull driver. Fastest lap of the race. And it's been set on lap 17 here. We've got Gordon into the pits, finally going on to a set of medium compounder tyres to finish this race. I think he may come... Is he going to come out in clean air here? I think the Haas driver might just do so, as Ollie picking up a 3-second time penalty. Oh no, it looks like he may come out involved in the scrap for P7. Now he got out in clean air, which is good for him. He needs that clean air. Didn't want to be in any sort of traffic, as F1 Mallard picks up a 3-second time penalty now. But yeah, good pit stop strategy there from Gordon. He comes out in some nice clean air, and now he's just got to chase down his teammate, and he could potentially take P5 away from him. Well, he does have a time penalty as well, Oven Chip, so he only has to find 2 seconds, really, Gordon, and he's got this, and you can see how much better the tyres are, the mediums, compared to the hards, because the lads in the background, they're on the hard compounder tyres. We'll just double-check that as we'll have a look at the tyres again. Yeah, so Aaron's on 16-lap-old hards. Wow, I think Aaron probably it seems like he's waiting for a safety car or something to happen here. Mallard's gone on to softs. That's bold. And Jamie also on softs. You've got side-by-side action there. And it's the Mercedes drivers looking to put the Williams under pressure here. The Williams defending with his life, trying to keep the Mercedes behind him. And he has managed to do so there. But yeah, Mallard definitely not on the right strategy. He needs to get off them soft compounder tyres. They're definitely not working out. And as we see him peel off into the pit lane, so does Aaron as well. It's Aaron or Aaron, I'm going to say on both. So then at least I've covered both corners there. But there we go, Mallard getting the mediums on, and I'm sure Aaron is on the mediums. There he is, the VCARB driver, now in the circuit, and he needs to make up as many positions as he can with those medium compounder tyres. But Star now showing some strong pace with these hard compounder tyres, and he is in the battle for P2. Cookie has checked out up front, 3 seconds. He has managed to put between himself and the McLaren. And now the McLaren driver has a new person to battle. And it's the rampant Star, who's been absolutely brilliant since lights out. Showing some strong pace. And he was, I think he was a good, what? It was like 4 seconds behind Gokhan. So Gokhan's lap is out lap, sorry, after the pit stop. Really didn't go well for him. He came out, as I said earlier on, in some traffic, got held up for a lap behind drivers that was on much older tyres, and I think he really couldn't get the tyres fired up on that lap, to be honest, because the lap was just so slow to try and get some temperature into the tyres that it really did help Star. I mean, Star's pace was really good, but it really has helped Star get into that battle for P2. And so far, I mean, the Kick Sauber driver, my driver of the day. I mean, I know Cookie's been good in his defense on the medium compounder tyres, trying to keep Gokhan in behind him in P2. I think when Gokhan looks back at this race, he may think that he should have gone for the move a lot earlier. Maybe used some more ERS. Tried holding Cookie up for a bit. But if ifs and buts were coconuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So now he's just got to be in this fight for P2 with a guy who looks like he's got the pace to really challenge him for that P2 position. Arrow at this moment in time having a very lonely race in at P4. He can see Oven Chips probably in his rear view mirror, but Oven Chips has been around that 2.2 second mark for a fair few laps now since they got onto the hard compounder tyres. Hasn't really put a dent in that time between himself and Arrow. Gordon on the mediums looking to chase down his teammate since he's come out of the pit lane. He's gained a second to his teammate who's currently in at P5. Ty going for the move here on the Red Bull driver. And it's a clean move done by Ty. Up into P8. He does have that time penalty. Kevin Kyle will gain that position once the end of the race does come. Yeah, Jake. It's just been an unfortunate one for him yet. Wing damage. I think he made a mistake which caused that, and then he's just had to basically grit his teeth and try and do the best he can with what he's got. Currently in at P13. But yeah, it's a very lonely race for him down there in P13. He's got 7 seconds to F1 Mallard, who's in P12, and then Jamie's a good 12 seconds behind him. So Jamie looked like he had some really good paces on the softs. So yeah, they're not going to be a very good tyre here for Jamie. He's just losing time hand over fist to Jake. But these two still scrapping out up at the front. We've got a caution, and it's the other McLaren driver, Jamie, who's lost it there. Which was very, very unfortunate for Jamie. He's having a difficult night here at Suzuka. Just can't seem to control the car and keep it on track, and it's he's really suffering for it. Cookie very close to the overtakers. We get a 10-second time penalty for Ty for speeding in the pit lane. So he'll be dropping some positions after that one. But yeah, different strategies have really arisen here this evening. You know, some people trying the softs. I think the circuit is just too long to try and even go for a set of softs for a couple of laps. They'll just die too quickly. But Star now, he needs to stay close. Is he going to show some patience though, like Gokhan did? I mean, Gokhan really did just sit in behind, and he's not. He's going to look to go for the move, and here they go. He just backs out of that one as Gokhan nearly missing his breaking point ever so slightly there. And it's allowed now Star to close up. And Star having the better exit. He's got the DRS. And there's a bit of weaving going on down the straight there. But yeah, Star up into P2 now. I think it's well deserved from the Kick Sauber driver. As I said earlier on, he's shown some really good pace here at the circuit. As we've got someone in the chat. Star is flying. Goal Machine Gaming saying, hey there Taz. Hey, how we doing? Goal Machine. What's happening, lad? I hope you're enjoying this one here at We Have Fun F1. But yeah, Star is flying. It's just, I think it's a shame for Star. If he would have had a better start, he could have really been in the fight with Cookie on the mediums. I think he kind of beat Cookie for pace. He had the stronger pace than Cookie. But Cookie is just, I don't know, he's activated hammer time in the Red Bull, and he's just pulling away now. Whether he was kind of taking it easy on that first stint, we will never know, but he's just extending the gap to Star and Gokhan. He's got unreal pace. He just needs somebody to be challenging him up at the front, as that has really ruined Gokhan's chance of a P2 here this evening. A 3-second time penalty coming on the end of lap 22 there for the McLaren driver. That's so unfortunate for him. Let's go back. Still, there's just no battles really now on circuit. There's only really Gokhan and Star. But yeah, I mean, the Ferrari driver of Arrow is going to be, you know, thinking no longer the king of Suzuka as he picks up a 3-second time penalty there. Hopefully that's not the commentator's curse. But as we get a caution in sector 3, and that is Jamie out of this one. DNF's in the pit lane. But yeah, Arrow was the winner last season, and now we're going to be crowning a new king of Suzuka here at We Have Fun F1. And at the moment that is looking like it's going to be Cookie. Yeah, Stars. He's just doing really well. He's just shown some absolutely brilliant pace. Like I say, it's just a shame that he wasn't in the mix up at the top in the beginning. It's not a great quality from Star. Let's have a look at Aaron down in P11. He's on the back of F1 Mallard. A Star now. It's been looking so good from Star, and it's a 3-second time penalty. So now that battle for P2 reheats up here, and we'll jump back up because now Gokhan knows he can now start to put pressure on the Kick Sauber driver. He just needs... We know he's got the patience. We've seen it on the back of Cookie in the first stint on the mediums. And now he's just got to keep that patience until the end. As we get Jamie saying, I gave up. Yeah, unlucky Jamie, lad. Just unfortunately, just didn't look like... You had a good first stint, but then it just kind of unravelled for you, didn't it, mate? But better luck next time out. Hopefully you have a better race then. But yeah, unfortunate for Jamie in the McLaren. Hopefully we'll get the top 3 at the end of this as well. have an interview with them, see how Cookie felt in the race. I know in the second stint he probably felt like absolute lightning because he's just pulled away from P2 and 3 here. Haas in a strong position to pick up some decent points for the constructors. It's currently P5 and 6, I think, where they were in qualifying, to be honest. Gordon is on the mediums trying to chase down Oven. He came out 7 seconds adrift to his teammate and has since then been trying to catch him and hopefully try and take that position away from him. But with Oven Chips having that penalty, he'll gain P5 easy. I mean, I'm sure Gordon would like to get within DRS range of Oven Chips. Will Oven Chips let him pass? I mean, points-wise, it would be beneficial for the team if Oven Chips lets Gordon past, because then he can try and have a crack at Arrow, who's 2.2 seconds, and he's been keeping a steady 2.2 second gap to Oven Chips. But I think that Gordon's just not going to have the laps left here to really go on the attack against Arrow, as we are now moving into the latter stage of the race. Just 3 more laps of racing. Nah, Jamie, you're not slow, bro. It just takes time. As we see the Haas running wide in the background there, that could be another track limit warning for Oven Chips. Let's have a look at the penalty situation, to be honest. So, yeah, they've all got 3s, apart from Mallard and Ty. Ty did pick up a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane, and has also picked up a 3-second penalty for multiple track limit infringements here at the circuit this evening. So, I mean, see, it shows how good a race Stars had. 7 positions gained in the race so far, and they do swap the team. Oven Chips letting his teammate through there, but it's a 3.5-second gap for his teammate to try and chase down, to try and catch. Well, he doesn't need, he only needs to find half a second, really, doesn't he? Because Arrow does have that 3-second time penalty. So Gordon, he doesn't really have to push too much. He just has to get under that 3 seconds, and Arrow will be demoted to P5 here. Can the Haas driver do it? Can Gordon get the lap together here? What days are the racing? I only know Tier 1. Tier 1 is today. I think Tier 2 could potentially be tomorrow, but I'm not 100%. I'll get that information to you at the end of the race. Actually, I'll just jump into Tier 2 and see the attendance. So it's Saturdays. Tier 2 Saturday. And Tier 1 is Sunday. As we get someone putting it in the chat there for me anyway. Thank you very much for that. I mean, look at Cookie. What can we say about this man's drive, this race? On the mediums, was he trying to just keep Gokhan with him? Or did Gokhan have the pace to stay with him? Either way, Cookie, since getting onto the hards, has looked absolutely lightning quick here at Suzuka. He's managed to put a 10-second gap between himself and Gokhan. Gokhan has actually got back up into P2. And it looks like Star may have to settle for P3 here. We'll drop back. Well, I'll just keep on board with Gokhan and Star. And we'll get back to Cookie near the end of the lap. And Star getting very close to the back of the McLaren. Aaron with a 3-second time penalty on the final lap of the race. Star, is he going to look to put pressure down the back straight on the McLaren? We'll jump up to Cookie. It has been an absolutely dominant race here from the Red Bull driver. He dominated in quali by 0.4 of a second. And he is going to come across the line here at Suzuka with over a 10-second gap to P2. Cookie comes round the final corner to win the Tier 1 race here at Suzuka for We Have Fun F1. And what a victory it was. Gokhan, in the end, think he is going to hold on to P2. And Star, after a brilliant race, comes across the line in P3. Arrow is going to lose P4 because Gordon has the mediums. And Arrow going to come across the line in P4. Last season's winner here at Suzuka comes across the line in P4. But will get P5 as Gordon comes back and takes P4 after going onto the mediums and really pushing. And the pushing paid off for him. And he walks away with a P4 here. Haas with a great result. Young Himi manages to walk away with P7 in the end. Great result for him. Ollie going to come around the corner in P8. But I think Kev will take that position. And he does. Kev moves up into P8. F1 Mallard and the other drivers, the last few here, making their way around the final corner. Yeah, Cookie did awesome, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely stormed out on front. What a race from Cookie. What a race from the drivers here. Gokhan just didn't have the pace on the hards. Star probably had the pace to keep up with Cookie, but his qualifying didn't go the greatest. And he had to just settle for the P3 here. Gokhan really put him under pressure. We thought that he had that P2 signed, sealed and delivered, but picked up that 3-second time penalty late, which gave Gokhan the urge to go for that P2 once again. And Arrow raids the channel there, bringing some people along with him. Good evening, Arrow. Hope you're well. But yeah, I think we should be getting some of the lads in for the interview. So Cookie, Gokhan and Star, if you would like to come into the interview room and we'll have a chat. But yeah, Cookie, race winner, fastest lap. Cookie as well. Star, well-deserved driver of the day. Definitely my driver of the day as well. F1 Mallard with the most overtakes. And your cleanest driver this evening was Gordon in the Haas. But I do think Gordon may have caused a moment on that opening lap. I'm not too sure. He may have just lost it. But yeah, nonetheless, still walking away with your cleanest driver here this evening. And yeah, that is that, people. That was one hell of a race. Hopefully we can get some of the guys in for an interview and discuss how the race went for them. Was a really enjoyable race in that first stint. Gokhan really did try to stay with the Red Bull, and he did a really good job of doing it, but the pit stops really messed up his attempt at trying to undercut Cookie, because he came out in some heavy traffic. And yeah, once Cookie pitted, I mean, he'd gained nothing, Gokhan. So, very unfortunate for the McLaren driver. Really had a shot at trying to keep Cookie behind, but Cookie just looked dominant on them hard compounder tyres. I mean, he showed his dominance. He showed that he's the man to beat here. He doesn't have the record for the most race wins for nothing. He takes that one up to 23 here this evening with that race win. So, absolutely brilliant result. Don't know if Cookie or any of them. Cookie is in here. Oh, everybody's here. How we doing? Arrow's here. We've got Star here. So how we doing, people? How we doing, Cookie? That was an absolutely dominant performance from yourself. Qualifying went absolutely brilliantly. Race, I mean, talk us through it, mate. It just... What was the difference from the mediums to hards? Were you trying to keep Gokhan with you, or was it he just had the pace?
Yeah, it felt pretty awful, actually. I'm sure you might have saw on stream, but I was making mistakes like left and right. Especially when he was close. Just kept missing apexes and shit. It was, I don't know, on controller it's a really, really difficult track to nail. But yeah, I don't know. I figured I was basically like saving like crazy. Like I kind of pushed first 3 or 4 laps, and I started just saving like an insane amount. I'm sure he probably knows I was probably holding him up a lot. And then I kind of bolted. I tried to bolt. And and then he undercut. Then I don't know how I overcut. Maybe I don't. I think they both got it on traffic. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they did. They, both came out in some heavy traffic that really did hold them up. So, yeah, very unfortunate for the pair.
My in lap was dreadful. Like I think I was like 3 seconds off. But yeah, it was good. I came out in front and I had 2 lap better tires. I saved a little bit. Then I just wanted to push off into the distance. The JG gave me the second gap, so I just sent it, and I think their pace dropped off more than mine. I ended on 65% but it was good. I did the last 10 laps within 5/10 of each other, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely very cool, and massive GGs too. That was some dominant performance there. I mean, is it Kerry who's in Kerry? How do I pronounce that? I do apologize.
Kerry.
Kerry, okay. How are we doing, mate? I mean, P2 in the end. Obviously, the traffic did hold you up on the lap there. Just talk us through it, mate.
Yeah, it was a tough race, to be honest. I tried to stay with Cookie in the first stint. To be honest, he was faster than me in every single stint. But because of the DRS and slipstream, I could stay with him. But I tried to undercut him, but because of the massive traffic, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate to see that, mate. Like, you come out in that traffic, you could just see that you was never like getting that undercut that you wanted from that pit stop.
There's some minor contacts in front of me. I avoided them. I was lucky because I didn't have any damage.
Yeah, you walked away clean from them.
Well, in second stint, after I lost the DRS, basically I struggled a lot. My setup was from TT, so maybe because of that it didn't work out. I couldn't practice that much. But that was a good battle with Star, I think it's the right nickname.
Yeah, it was a good battle.
He was faster again than me, but I tried to stay with him because of the DRS. I couldn't find any traction in the last corner. I was nearly 2 tenths behind the last chicane, but after the chicane it was 6 tenths, 7 tenths. Because of that I couldn't overtake him. But at the end I found some margin and used all my DRS, ERS, and overtook him. It was a good battle.
Yeah, I mean, when you got that 3-second time penalty, did you kind of think, the chance for P2's over? And then when you seen, obviously Star pick up that 3-second time penalty, you're like, right, fight's back on. Like, I'm going for, I want this P2.
Yeah, exactly. After that I took 3 seconds. I thought there's no battling. Sorry.
It's all right, don't worry. There's no battling, yeah, and you just had to kind of like settle in behind him in theory, right? Yeah.
I tried to finish P3. That I saw he got 3 seconds as well, and I tried to stay with him, but it was really hard because of the wear of the tires. I didn't expect that high of the tire wear, but it was hard to find some tractions in slow speed corners, but somehow I managed to stay with him and overtook him. It was a good battle.
Very good battle, but massive GGs, mate, on the P2. Hopefully we can see a good result from you next time out. I mean, you had hardly any practice here this evening and walked away with P2 with some practice at a track before the race. I'm sure it's going to be a whole different story and you're going to be able to battle it with Cookie. But I'm going to move on to Star, and he really was the star here this evening. For me personally, drove an absolutely brilliant race. I think if he could have been up at the top in qualifying and to start the race, could have been a little bit better for him. But Star, take us through it. I mean, quali looked like it didn't really go your way with the pace that you had in the race, and then the pace kind of the race kind of came to you, and you was doing extremely well. Star?
I'm here.
I've just I'll say that again. You had an absolutely blinding race, mate. Didn't look like quali kind of went your way, whereas in the race your pace just seemed to shine. Where if you would have been in that maybe top 3 in qualifying, you could have gone for that race win.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a horrible evening, to be honest. I messed up qualifying. About all 3 of my runs were horrendous. I should have backed out of my second one, but I'm quite glad I didn't now because I went straight on at the second Degner.
Yeah,
It's crazy, really. But apart from that, I mean, you know, I got through the traffic after the stop, but yeah, it was. As soon as I saw that Cookie got DRS for that one lap, I knew it was done. So it was either stay in P3 or try and chase for second. I try and chase, and somehow he lost DRS. So yeah, it's incredibly frustrating, even if I was third, because I feel like I definitely could have been right behind Cookie today. But
maybe
yeah,
next
more work
time,
to
mate.
do, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe next time. It looks like a really strong performance from yourself, making your way through. Like, obviously, I think the side-by-side action with Cookie and Kerry. Oh, sorry if I've pronounced it wrong. Like, helped you get back into that DRS, and there was maybe I think it was like a lap or two where you kind of dropped back out. Was there a moment that you kind of had to drop back, or was it just by choice?
I never got into their DRS.
It
I
looked
only
like
got
you had.
into Correa's DRS when he fell away.
Right. Fair play.
I was just really, really pissed off with myself, to be honest. I should have been up there today, and it's really annoying that I'm not, because if Cookie turns up for every race, he's already got a shoe in. So, 3 points will be a lot come the end of the season.
Yeah,
3 points?
definitely.
7 points.
7
8
points. Yeah. But I mean,
Well,
congratulations.
9 'cause he's
fastest. Yeah, and he went fastest. But honestly, mate, massive GGs. It was an absolutely great result. Still, I mean, you walk away with a podium. Can't go wrong there, getting a podium in the season. But yeah, it's been real fun. I mean, I don't know how you run the interviews. Am I just doing top 3, or is there anybody else that wants to say anything? There's a few people here.
I would just invite, or I would just interview whoever joins.
All right, no worries. So, Arrow, I mean, last season's winner, you take on P5. Was you kind of hoping that the Haas team would probably battle it out in them last few laps to kind of keep Gordon behind you?
It wasn't even that. It was more I was just pissed at myself because I got the 3-second time penalty. I wasn't really worried about Gordon at all. After the first couple of laps, and I built the gap to him, I was not worried about him at all because I didn't think he'd have the pace to come back at me. But then that 3-second time penalty essentially handed him the position, because I think even if he had caught my DRS, I don't think he was getting ahead of me, because by the time he would have caught me, his mediums would have been done, so I don't think he would have got ahead. So I'm a bit annoyed I'd lost that position, but other than that, pretty much did the maximum possible. If I had avoided the time penalty, then that would have been an next to perfect race, because oven chips in that first stint was lightning, and I was really absolutely dumping absolutely everything out of the battery to try and stay with him, and then I ended up overcutting him, which I was surprised by, because I think he got held up by Aaron.
Yeah,
So
he did, yeah.
That invited me to have a gap and also better tires. So it was like, I've just got to play this well, and I'll continue to build a gap on oven chips, because I knew he still had pace. I just needed to be smart about it and not allow him back into DRS.
I mean, there was a lot going on in that opening lap. You managed to kind of sneak through and avoid it all, didn't you? And get up into P4. I mean, I bet that was a bit of a hairy, scary moment, seeing all that going on in front of you and trying to like navigate it.
Yeah, there was a lap there where like 2 cars went off at the Dagnas, and JG kind of rejoined into the side of me, and I had to avoid him. It was a bit scary. Glad I just stayed away from incidents, because I know if I can just avoid incidents, then I can score some good points.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, did Cookie race last year in Japan?
He did, but him and JG had a big coming together, so they both had a stinker last season in
Right.
Japan, unfortunately.
But I mean, still, top 5 can't be too bad. Got to take that. I know it could, you probably want more, but
Yeah,
top
the top 4 is honestly the maximum I can expect. Like, I just am not at the level of Star Korean Cookie. Like, it would need to be like a lucky safety car for me to get a podium. That's really the only way. I'm just not at that pace, unfortunately.
And we've got Himit in. Himit didn't seem like it was the greatest race. I'm not going to say for yourself, but it looks like you got caught up in a few things that kind of cost you tonight. Would you agree?
All right. Yes, I would. Just some incidents out of my control. Just coping with an injury currently, so just had to pull through. I think personally, recovery drive still worked out. Finished where
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
started. So.
Yeah. But it just looks like you was just wrong place, wrong time. In them opening laps, it just cost you some positions, and but look, you got kind of caught behind people that were going slower, and then you had people coming down your inside, and it was very unfortunate. But to see you gain them positions back going through the race, and like you said, start where you finish, it's you can't ask for much more than that, can you really? But especially when you've had that so much going on in front of you and trying to avoid and stay away from. What injury are you suffering with, lad? Anyway, what's going on there?
I've currently got a calf strain, which was mainly the issue with going through Degners.
Yeah.
Got too much on the throttle, but yeah, just lap 1, all the incidents ahead of me is just so many incidents I had to avoid. I was very lucky not to get wing damage at that point.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. A lot of, I think there may have been, I don't know, it looks like there was an unsafe rejoin at one point that really kind of stacked the pack up a bit further back. I think it was when Arrow got through into P4, but then everybody else, further back, there was some, I can't remember who it was. It looked like it was a Haas car.
It was, I think it was Gordon.
Yeah.
He's the one that I ended up tapping from behind going through.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact, but it's been a great race nonetheless, and hopefully long may it continue here at We Have Fun F1. It's been a great evening. It's been great to meet the new people, but I'm going to dip out. I want to thank you, everybody who came in to have the interview. It's always great to talk to new people and obviously talk about people's races and see how it comes, really get into the heads of the drivers and see how they felt. But from me, that is going to be everything this evening. Make sure you join us again next weekend for Tier 1 as they will be taking on what track, Arrow? Miami. Good track. Love that track, and hopefully we can have a good race. But from us here at We Have F1, We Have Fun F1, sorry. Take care, have a great evening, and have a great week. And we'll see you next time for some more racing and some hopefully great side-by-side action here at We Have Fun F1. Good night, everybody. Take care.